We're back, people, and today we're bringing a film on Addison West, Miami Dolphins offensive line that they added from Western Michigan. Now, he's an interesting one that I got to late in this process. Finally got some film on him, and I actually came away pretty impressed. They actually have two offensive linemen here. 73 also is a guy the Dolphins brought in. We're going to focus on West today. He actually kind of gives me Andrew Meyer vibes, the guy the Dolphins brought in last year that ended up making the team at center. Now, he spent most of his time playing right guard, but we're going to go over this Ohio State film where their center got hurt like a couple plays into the game, and he's played most of the game at center. I think he looked even better there. He's got very similar strengths and weaknesses to Meyer, being more of an athlete, good reach blocker. I think they're just different levels. I would say Meyer has the edge as an athleticism. They're both good athletes, but Meyer has the slight edge. And then I think they're both kind of weaknesses in play strength and anchor. But West is probably a little bit stronger at this point and also could add to that. So I actually think they could have a fun battle at this training camp. Like, I don't think like Meyer is someone who's like guaranteed a job or anything. So like West has a realistic shot. But man, you have some guys in here that can really move as centers. Like right here. And this is versus Ohio State too. So this is against good competition. These are, he's going against guys that were getting drafted and stuff, and guys who will get drafted in the future. And he's reach blocking. He moves really well out of it. Look at the finish right there. So 75. Some of these clips will be at right guard, some of these will be at center. So that is also another advantage I think West could have, is he has more of that guard versatility, while I think Meyer is just a center only. But he does a good job, like reaching a one tech. So one tech play side. So this guy has the play side leverage advantage, and West fires off the ball. And this is hard to do as a center because you have to snap the ball, get up out of it, and he's able to cross his face very quickly, get his hips across, and now he's like straining. He's got good hand placement. Good job sustaining this block, and he gets out laterally. And when the guy tries to work across his face, he's able to hold on to it long enough, basically stay square with him. And now that his running back works past him, he doesn't allow the guy to disengage at all. He doesn't allow him to separate. This is like the big thing. Like, look how he does a great job of bringing his hips to hips. When you bring your like hips to the other guy's hips, it's very hard for the guys to disengage. And the guy he doesn't allow him to, really use his length at all. Like, this is really good technique. Finish from him too. The movement laterally is there for West, and that's something that will always translate into the Miami Dolphins system. And then here's another example. Really good reach. This one is just beautiful technique to fire, because this guy's more like, he's in a 1, but even in like a 2i, so he's got more of a leverage advantage this time. West last time kind of stayed even with him for the most part. But West takes at a great angle. You can see that first step. Look how it's like almost, backwards. Like he goes horizontally, but it's even like a slight angle backwards to then get his hips across and now completely seal off his guy. Great reach in this situation. Gets a little bit of help from 51, but this is mostly West. He shows balance and body control too, because he's in an awkward position here. Then now is able to sustain that. It allows his running back to bend and get around him and get a pretty solid gain to work with there. So I think as a run blocker, you're going to see a lot of solid work on outside zone, whether it's reach blocking like this or pushing down the guys laterally. He understands like how to use their own leverage against them. Like, if he's not going to get out to the edge, like, he will widen them laterally and help create cutback lanes. That's kind of like, what you're trying to do on outside zone sometimes, is give your running back these options, whether, he can bang through the hole, bounce it, or bend it. This one he's able to just bang through because he gets the absolute perfect reach block. And then I think as a pass pro perspective, he can struggle with some power at time, similar to Meyer, like I was talking about. They have really similar strengths and weaknesses. You can tell they clearly have a type at center, because Brewer is also like that, but Brewer is just to a higher level in these categories. He's also just the best athlete in the league at the position. And then, West here, he does a good job, I think. He's sliding to the left. Pretty good job working this stunt, finding the loop guy, get engaged to him quickly. I think he's pretty aggressive too. And he has like a pretty good base. You can tell he's got like a nice, flexible, bendy lower half to help, slow this guy down, stick with it. And I think, being an aggressive center is very helpful in a lot of situations when you can jump set people. Here he's not jump setting, obviously, but he's being aggressive to attack the looper, which I think then helps him out, not get overpowered. It doesn't allow them to build up too much momentum. And he plays with pretty good processing, pretty good overall like base technique and stuff like that. Here he's at right guard versus Iowa. Just another good example of him, getting across. And look at him, like high hand, low hand. Like, this is how you strain and sustain some blocks. You can tell his right hand is like in the sternum of the guy. The left hand's like, up in that like upper left hand area. But now he's able to reset his hands complete. He feels this guy's leverage go over the top. So now he just kind of, seals him off, kind of pushes him to the ground. But like it's just another example of him reach blocking that guy very quickly. This guy's more of a 2i and he's playing as a right guard, but he's able to, win that leverage advantage very, very quickly. Just love the lateral quickness ability as a reach blocker. That is clearly the strength of his game. So yeah, good job there from West, able to win that rather quickly. Here's another play versus Ohio State as the center get out, just really shuffling those feet sideways. I mean, I would like to not see him get too like click clacky right there, like uh his heels are clicking. You don't really want that. You would like to see a better base. But the fact that he's still able to maintain this block and sustain it gets a little bit of help. Caleb Down just makes a great play, who's like potentially one of the best players in the country next year. But he does his job to perfection over and over again. And these are, a lot of these reps versus Ohio State, Iowa. This is not your typical Western Michigan, lower competition type of players. He had probably his best game of the season was against Ohio State when he switched to center. And like he's was like first team and hit for I think for like a few years there in that sort of conference. So like there's some impressive stuff. Here he is at right guard working outside zone. They worked outside zone a lot, but like there's an example of like switching things up. So he's trying to fire out, and he was potentially going to go help his center, but the guy kind of works across face. He doesn't have a chance to get there. This guy is able to actually work across his face. So he understands, like, hey, I'm not going to be able to reach him now because this guy's across face. Let me just get him down laterally, especially with how the rest of his team is playing this. He just completely moves him laterally and uses his own momentum and leverage against him. It just creates this nice cutback lane, exactly what you could want in outside zone. He just has such a good feel these situations. This is actually off of broadcast film. It was very hard to find Western Michigan film. So shout out Do a Barrel Roll. They had some broadcast film, and they actually showed some back angles here that you can see. They ran a lot of outside zone. He has that experience, and I think if you have this sort of movement ability and feel in this system, you always will have a chance to sort of make this roster. We saw it last year with Andrew Meyer, and West is of a similar type of player. Like here's an example of them trying to hit this cutback lane. He works the combo with this guy, and then he's basically blocking two at once. He has the left hand on this guy helping the double, and then he's got the right hand on this guy. You can see a little bit of power there. I think he does a better job of creating movement in the run game, less so when anchoring, but good job just creating that lateral movement. Like to see the hand placement, independent hand usage, because they're showing pressure up front. Like he doesn't know if he's going to get 97 here or if he has to hit the inside guy, but he sees the inside guy come, boom, shoots that inside hand, is able to actually slow down this guy's momentum pretty quickly. Good placement, good timing, throws that off, and now he's able to get control of the situation. And by him doing that, this guy has hesitating waiting, and then 63 is able to respond and get there. He's playing with a good base, pretty good knee bend, and it gives his quarterback just enough time when they're bringing a lot of pressure. Here's another example of him picking up a stunt, pass off 94 there, eyes to find the looper, get engaged, plays a pretty good technique, staying square. Another example of him sort of being able to anchor this time. I like the reset of the feet. I think he plays with good base. He kind of gets knocked on bounce here. As you can see, like that initial like pop gets him popped back, but he's able to reset pretty quickly and play with a pretty good like lower bend that helps out with like his lack of play strength at the time. Is able to bend and get back into a good pad level position. So good job there from Addison West. But really, it's these plays versus Ohio State that really get me excited. Like there's some film that I'm like, okay, it's fine. I can definitely see why they're after him. But most of his film's at right guard. But it's this Ohio State film at center because I think his size fits more center. I think his athletic traits fit center really well in this system. I think he could play, like if he does make the roster, he could be a guy that backs up multiple spots. But I think the idea is him trying to get the center spot. So I would say if I had to guess, I'm probably guessing practice squad for him. While, Brewer is your starter, Andrew Meyer is your backup center, and if anyone gets hurt, like you probably feel pretty good about him because him and Meyer I don't think are that far off. But I think they're probably just going to lean Meyer because he has that second year of experience in the system. But it would not surprise me if West is able to overtake him because they have similar strengths and weaknesses. But uh, West has a couple advantages in some areas, but Meyer I think is still the better athlete. So we'll see how that battle goes on in camp. It should be very interesting. So if you guys are doing it, comment and says,